Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Get Real with Rick Dancer. And you guys, we are at Pine Ridge Golf Club, formerly the Springfield Country Club. But today we're not here doing a show on Pine Ridge. We're just here because on the 6th of September is a big 20-year-long golf tournament that's been put on by St. Vincent DePaul to help fund the residential program that they have to provide affordable housing for people. And so the money that's raised at that tournament here goes to help that program. Elizabeth, come over here for me. So we have a family that we're going to take out there. But here's Elizabeth.
Hi.
And so Elizabeth, tell us about the residential program, this affordable housing program for families and how it works.
So Resident Services provides social service support to all of the families in our affordable housing complexes. Right now we have 14 properties that have offices and staffed there every week where we can provide support to families.
So families can live here and try to get the whole purpose of this whole program is so that families can try to get out of the cycle of poverty.
Absolutely.
Which you were talking to me, and you guys, I don't think we ever take this into consideration very much. If you've grown up in a home that was impoverished and you had a real hard time, and chances are pretty likely that you're going to grow up in the same kind of way.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of different reasons for that, and we don't have time to go into that right now, but I think one of the big things is when people don't have role models in their lives that can model how to work through systems and assist them in growing up, getting familiar with looking at college as an option or a technical school as an option, then they don't have anything to guide them through that themselves.
And stuff that those of us who had that take for granted. You think, well, that's just what parents do, but that's not what all parents do.
Not all parents have that option. Not all parents have that ability to guide their kids through it if they've never had that experience themselves.
So the Bill, it's Bill Barr.
Bill Barr Memorial Golf Classic.
Who was Bill?
Bill he was just an amazing person in our community, and he loved this program so much. This was very dear to him, supporting these children and breaking that cycle of poverty by us supporting those kids and those kids' families.
So they live, and there's people there, like you have, in fact, we have someone here, but they live on property.
Yeah, they do.
And so if they have a question in the middle of the night, they need help getting a job reference, whatever, you're there to do that.
Absolutely.
And here's something you guys can do. They need any kind of hygiene products, toilet paper, the toothbrushes, toothpaste.
Socks and underwear.
They always need that kind of stuff at the programs and stuff. So
absolutely.
All you have to do is go on the St. Vinnies website, and you can find all the information you need to get to this. So
svdp.us, and you can also donate any kind of monetary donations. Just put in your note Resident Services, and it'll go right to us, and we funnel that right into our clothing closet.
That is the thing I really do like about St. Vinnies. One of the many things is that when you say where you want the money to go, it goes to that program.
Yep, it can be absolutely restricted, and we stick to that. Absolutely.
So, what have you learned the most working in this program about, you and I talked about this earlier, about the difficulty of being in poverty?
Yeah, it is lonely, and that's something that resident services programs across the nation struggle with. A lot of people think that resident services is potlucks and fun movie nights, which it can be to break that community barrier of loneliness. But having staff on site to assist tenants that are struggling in poverty breaks the cycle of loneliness. When you're not able to pay your medical bills, or you're not able to buy your kids clothes for school or school supplies, it is extremely lonely, and it can feel very shameful for families. And we're here to educate families in the community that that's not the case. There's no shame in that, and they can have dignity and live in affordable housing and have amazing lives.
And I don't think we think that enough about that.
No.
Is how, think about your own life. There's things you don't want to tell other people, but these are things we need to know to be able to help.
Absolutely. All of our services are completely confidential, and that has really made a big impact on our families. They can come and talk to us about anything, and we respect them, and we all come from different cultures and backgrounds, and rewarding that is really important to our families seeking help.
So the golf tournament, do people have teams and that kind of stuff? Is that what you?
Yeah. So some of our people come in foursomes. You can purchase a foursome, or you can purchase an individual player.
So again, you guys, it's on September 6th out here at Pine Ridge Golf Club, and so Ron has what Ron did was he got a bunch of golf carts, because what we thought is this is a sweet little family. They're really nice, and we're going to talk to Mom and a couple of the kids. They're in the program.
Yes.
They're living in one of the affordable housing complexes, and so they're going to talk to us. But we thought, gosh, we should just show them where the money's going to be raised for this thing. So we're going to get these carts here. Mom, you want to get on the back here with me? So we're going to trust her to drive us. Oh my gosh, she's never driven one of these. You can get up here too. You want to come up here too, sweetie? Here.
So where am I, Mom?
All right. I'm going to take this one like this. So tell them who you are.
I'm Crystal Summers.
And you are?
Daisy.
And she's your daughter, right?
She's my daughter.
So tell me about, we were talking earlier about the importance of this affordable housing program that you're involved with. What kind of difference does that make for you?
After going through a divorce, I was homeless, and it was really hard to find a place, and I found this place, and it's made it to where I've had opportunities I otherwise wouldn't have been able to afford for my children.
So like what? What kind of opportunities?
Well, having 5 kids being...
Oh my gosh, you do have 5 kids, don't you? Hold on, Tammy. So you have 5 children?
Yes. And because I'm supporting them on my own, these opportunities wouldn't have been available to me. Just random things with 5 kids add up at $25 a head to do something. That's $125 just to pay for the kids.
School clothing, school time has to be really hard for you.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the hard times. And the programs they have for like backpacks really help out because of the area I live in. The school supplies list is rather expensive, and then there's fees for like electronics and other things at the school. So when they help out with some of the school supplies, it cuts costs for me.
So did you grow up in a family situation that was also difficult financially?
I did. My mom had 5 girls. I'm one of them. And we had hard times and we had good times, but it was definitely rough in the beginning.
So is that what this cycle, it feels like a cycle, like you continue to live this way?
Yeah and no. Myself, I have a master's degree and a fitness and nutrition diploma. It's not like I just chose this path. It's
right.
Just life is hard sometimes. And I think that I broke the cycle, but when I went through my divorce, it just sat me back to square one.
Is that frustrating because you did break the cycle and then you get thrown back into it by circumstances you can't really control? That's got to be hard.
It is. I wasn't expecting to be homeless with 5 children and moving cross country back home to Oregon, and just it made you feel really lost. And it was nice. I was panicked. I thought I was going to lose my kids, and this place became available. I signed up as soon as they put the list up, and I was lucky enough to get in there.
So can you stop for just a second and we'll let them go by us. So what would you want people to know about? I mean, I don't even have to ask a question. You already have something you want to say.
I think that a lot of people misjudge just because of living there that there's some sort of past, there's some sort of something, but life just happens. Like I said, I had a master's degree in health administration with a minor in education. I have a fitness and nutrition diploma. I had an LNA license. I speak German and English. My ex-husband was an executive housekeeper. We were doing good. It's just life happens. And we get set back to square one, and everybody wants to judge you. It makes it really hard to find work. It makes it really hard to find anything.
So what do you tell your kids?
You just don't give up. You just keep going. Life happens. You have ups, you have downs. It's like a roller coaster, but we'll get back out there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Hold on. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. I wanted to get something in there for you. So how are you? Is this kind of fun?
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a golf cart before?
Yeah.
Have you? But we're going to go see, because what they're doing, you guys, is on the 6th of September, the Bill Barr Memorial Golf Tournament. This is the 20th anniversary, happens here. Bill was a really cool dude in our community who loved this program. and affordable housing for people. And the money raised at that golf tournament will help people like you, so you get a place to live, because that's kind of important, don't you think?
Yeah.
And I bet for school too, if you don't have a home, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to explain to people the living situation, and it's like your business just becomes public. We had a time where my mom took us in, and we went from living in shelters and different states until we got back to Oregon. But my mom, she only has a 2-bedroom house. So I was sleeping on a chair, my kids are sleeping on air mattresses, and that happened for about 2 months. And luckily we found a place before it was too late. And luckily I had a lot of money saved up so I can move. But it was very embarrassing, to say the least.
So when I was talking to Elizabeth, she was saying one of the most difficult things about all of this is the loneliness.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
There's a lot of resources for homeless people, but it's hard to obtain those things when you're homeless. Like, everything takes so much more time, going somewhere to do your laundry, or getting a shower, or just getting around. And it does become lonely because people judge you, people mistreat you, people assume the worst of you. And even just living in the place that I'm at, we are kind of segregated. Like, we have some really nice people, but then there's some people who automatically judge you. I get judged on my tattoo, which is
I got one too, so we don't care. Yeah. So right, but in your case, that comes as it's something that's normal to me.
Yeah.
And people are going to look at me differently because I'm not in the same situation.
Exactly.
And so that becomes something all of a sudden like, oh. And it's easy to say ignore it.
Yeah, it is. But after a while of it being a daily thing, you find your mood changing, and you isolate yourself in a way. Like, I took up painting, I took up yoga, I took up all these different things to isolate myself away from the negativity, because people can be really cruel just because you're living there.
How do you... I was listening to a song on the way here, and that's kind of weird how things happen. So I'm listening to this song by Dan Fogelberg, and it says, "My feelings have grown rigid like a wooden post."
Yeah. Well, I think everybody that lives there has been through some hardship or something, but as a community, we've come together to where we're not so cold. Like, it's almost like we have an outsider community that's mean to us, and then an outsider community that's nice to us, but our community is like a family. Like, I lost my daughter back in October. She was a stillborn, and I had so many gifts at my door. My neighbors came over, and I could see them drop the stuff off, but they would like run, set it on my doorstep, and just like run off. And it was just the sweetest thing. Like, everybody came together just to be there for me.
And this is in the affordable housing complex.
And
so what does that say? I mean, because isn't part of the thing with homelessness too is you feel devalued?
Yeah. And even though all these people are struggling like I am, they all came to my door and left me gifts and encouragement, and just made me feel really good in a really dark place.
Well, what I have discovered in my life is that usually people who are in the hardest situations do the most for other people because they understand that.
Yeah.
And when the rest of us probably need to participate a lot more. God, you're really honest.
I'm an open book.
What do you got to lose, huh?
Yeah.
And I bet that's a really good example for your kids.
I personally think it's a stigma that's not talked about a lot, so like everybody says, don't talk about it, and I personally believe that keeping the memory alive is more important than hiding it, and the more people tell me not to talk about it, the more I talk about it.
I like you. Okay, so you guys, we are at Pine Ridge Golf Club, and I'm going to give you this view. You guys want to see where we are? Check this out. So, look at that. Are you okay being on here? Okay, I just want to... So you guys, this is where the tournament, the Bill Barr Memorial 20th Anniversary Tournament is going to be on September the 6th. And all you got to do is go on St. Vinny's website or go to the Facebook page, and you can find out how to get involved. The money that's raised at that tournament is going to be used to help with the affordable housing programs, to fund them, and for families like the one you just talked to and listened to. So, Elizabeth, is there anything else we need to tell them?
You know, we actually have another
Hold on.
parent if you wanted to.
Would you be okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, so hold on. We got somebody else here. Have we met before?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of sat there and thought, I think you and I have talked before.
It was a long time ago, but
So what was that about?
addiction
So you and I had was this when I was on the news?
on the water cooler, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And you came on because you're an ad.
Yeah, I'm an addict.
I still have a hard time calling someone that, just because you know what I mean? I hate labeling people, but it's the truth.
I'm a recovering addict.
And you're now in the affordable housing program as well?
Yes.
What has that done for you?
It's made living affordable, and I can afford to live, but also afford to take my kids on vacations and, buy them things that they want or that they need, and just be able to be comfortable and, not pay every last penny I have to rent and stuff like that. So
talk to me about hope.
Hope. There's a lot to talk about with hope.
If you answered the question, if I said, answer this question for me,
Mm-hmm.
I hope, and then.
I hope to be able to one day give back and do for my community what my community has done for me.
Which is?
Just made life more bearable and supportive. Like she was saying, it's like a family. When you need something, we all pitch in and do what we can for each other, and I don't have to be embarrassed about asking for help or be embarrassed about not having things that I might need, like school supplies for my kids or just that kind of stuff. So my hope is to one day be able to do that for
This is your daughter, right?
Yes, this is my daughter.
Yeah, it looks just like you.
Yeah.
So my hope for, what's her name?
Riley.
My hope for Riley is
To be a happy, healthy, successful human being in whatever she wants to do in life.
life's really kind of tough, huh?
It is.
And I think we don't talk enough about that.
I completely agree. I've had a tough life and still managed to wake up with a smile on my face and be a good mom, be a good person, be good to myself, which wasn't always easy. So
what's the good thing you've learned out of all of this? Not that you want to go back and do any of it, but I mean, you got guts, don't you?
I try.
I bet people don't mess around with you.
Not very often.
I mean, you and to your kid, you know how you're going to do this in a different way.
Absolutely. My mom was an addict, and I didn't have a good life, and so what I want to do for my daughter is give her different than what I had.
And that's what you are doing.
That is what I'm doing.
I am so glad to see you again. And I think it's funny that we did you recognized me, but I recognized you.
Yeah.
And I remember talking. I just didn't remember what it was for, but I knew it was something in that area.
Yep. And I messaged you actually on Messenger a couple months ago because you were talking to somebody else about addiction and had mentioned to you that I had talked to you before about that as well.
Well, it's funny how it just kind of comes around and we get to do it again.
Yep.
Well,
yep.
Here, okay, hold on. I got to give you a hug. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
no,
thank
I'm
you.
glad, and thank you. And honey, you are so cute. Can I show you on here?
Here.
With your mom? Because you look just like her. Look at this. Oh my gosh, spitting image.
Yep. She's a little cuter.
All right.
All right.
So, Elizabeth, do we need to say any more?
Tell about the prices, maybe?
Okay. Well, here. Do you know what they are?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
So our golf classic is taking place on September 6th. We have morning and PM or afternoon flights, one at 8 a.m. and one at 2. Carts and lunch will be provided. For a foursome, we're only charging $500, and for individuals to sign up, it's $150. Right. So we're very excited.
And that all goes to
the resident services program through St. Vincent DePaul.
Do you want to talk to me? You don't? You sure? Okay. You don't have to. All right, buddy.
Thank you.
You know, so that's kind of where the rubber hits the road, you guys. We talk a lot in our community about helping people who need a little assistance. Here's an easy way to do it and have fun at the same time. If you're not a golfer, you can still give. You can still do it. As Christmas, what am I talking about? Well, Christmas is a good one too. But as school comes up, remember we are doing the backpack drive. St. Vincent DePaul is still doing that, right? Yep. So you go buy a backpack, and while you're at it, just buy all the other supplies that they'll tell you at Fred Meyer or Bi-Mart that you need, and that helps these children to be able to go to school and have the same thing that everybody else has. And that is important. You may not think it is, but it really is important. So we're going to continue our tour here. We want to thank Ron at Pine Ridge Golf. If you guys haven't been out here recently, it's a whole new world. Ron bought it. It's now a club, but the public is invited. And they got a restaurant that's open most of the time, and you got to come out here and just enjoy yourself. So again, St. Vincent de Paul, the Bill Barr Memorial. This is the 20th year. Let's make it a big one so that other families in our community can have dignity. That's what it is, dignity.